Good morning, everyone. All right, so it's January. Yay! And that means that the Centers for Spiritual Living centers, all of our centers everywhere, are going back to the basics. We always do that the first 4 weeks of January. And we do it every year because we want to go through those first 4 pre-chapters of our book. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm just really grateful that each and every one of you is here in this room, because your energy is what makes the difference here in this center. In fact, every single one of you makes a difference in the collective experience that we have not only here, but in the entire world. We're all contributing to that. So just thank you. Thank you for being here. To really anchor into our fundamental teachings, historically, that has been done by going through the first 4 pre-chapter chapters of the Science of Mind textbook, which Suzanne read this morning. And those are entitled The Thing Itself, The Way It Works, What It Does, and How to Use It. And as I said last week, we're going to do that-ish this month, because we don't just focus on that. We just take some of that out of there and then apply it to what I'm speaking about. But we're going to explore great terms and amazing concepts contained in those first pre-chapters. Terms and concepts such as mental equivalence, you may have heard some of these, maybe not, consciousness, spiritual truth, principle, the absolute, demonstration, divine creative process, the affirmative life, false beliefs, the law, divine intelligence, divine right order. And there's many, many more, but that's enough for right now. This month I want to make sure that we understand and embody this language, which may have some new ideas for some of you. May just be a little bit of a stretch, or maybe just something you haven't quite heard before. And if that weren't enough, we will add a couple of new terms and discover how to bring them alive in our lives. So last Sunday, we talked about activating the divine creative process through the law and dispelling false beliefs to lead an affirmative life and experience amazing demonstrations. I like long titles. Well, maybe not, because as lengthy as last week's talk title was, today it's really short, and it may be a word that you may or may not be familiar with. Because I'll tell you, it isn't really a word. Or I should say,
I was wondering.
yeah, it's not a word that you're going to find in the Webster's dictionary, unless they've added it since I started working on this. But I think it's one that you're going to want to add to your vocabulary. And the word is pronoia.
It's not related to paranoid.
Well, I'll get there. To help define it, it might help to know the word for which it is the antonym. So what would the antonym be?
Paranoia.
Well, my goodness, you're brilliant. He's psychic, too. So paranoia means that you have false beliefs that the world is out to harm you. So if that's the truth of what paranoia is,
Your mind lies to you.
right, then pronoia is the true belief that the universe is conspiring in your favor. Gosh, that just feels good. It just feels good to say that the universe is conspiring in your favor, in my favor. And that is a true belief, because the universe truly is conspiring in your favor. My invitation to you this morning is that you become proanoid. Another word there. To put our new word in Science of Mind language, we might want to say that it means that you believe at the core of your being that there is a divine intelligence that is conspiring to bring about divine right order in your life. Divine right order. In the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes writes, "We are surrounded by an infinite possibility." An infinite possibility, that's a thing. It is goodness, life, law, and reason. In expressing itself through us, it becomes more fully conscious of its own being. Therefore, it wishes to express through us. As it passes into our being, it automatically becomes the law of our lives. It can pass into expression through us only as we consciously allow it to do so. Therefore, we should have faith in it and its desires and its ability to do for us all that we shall ever need to have done. And that last sentence could be our definition of being proanoid. Having faith in an infinite possibility and its desires and its ability to do for us all that we shall ever need to have done. Wow, sounds great to me. Now, I said earlier that the word pronoia isn't really a word, at least not a word that you're going to find in the dictionary, but there actually has been a book written about it. It's by Rob Bresney, entitled Pronoia is the Antidote for Paranoia. And I adapted this from page 3. Let us release the cult of doom and gloom and embrace the cause of zoom and boom. Let us laugh at the foolishness of evil and hate as we summon the brilliance to praise and create. No matter how upside down it all may appear, let us have no fear. Because we know this big secret. All of creation is conspiring to shower us with blessings. Life is crazily in love with us, brazenly and innocently in love with us. The universe always gives us exactly what we need, exactly when we need it. Isn't that a really sweet way to describe pronoia and the idea that divine right order is always taking place? Always. Just think about this for a moment. Thousands of things go right for you every day, beginning with the moment that you wake up. And that these things you have nothing, absolutely nothing to do with, right? Through some magic that you don't fully understand, you're still breathing and your heart is still beating, even though you've been unconscious for many hours. You open your eyes and the light of many colors floods into your eyes and registers by the nerves, in the back, and that took millions of years to perfect. The incredible gift of these vivid hues is made possible by an unimaginably intense globe of fire that we call the sun, which continually detonates nuclear reactions in order to convert its own body into light and heat and energy for your personal use. You can't live without the sun's inexhaustible flood of unconditional love. Every move you make depends on it. And luckily, it never fails you. Did you know that your personal star is located at the precise distance from you to be of consummate service? If it were any closer, you'd fry, and if it were any further away, you'd freeze. It's an exact, perfect spot. Is that just a happy accident? Or is it a sign of favor, a big, broad hint from a divine intelligence that adores you? That adores you. If God had a refrigerator, your picture would be on it. In The Science of Mind, Holmes writes, when we learn to trust the universe, we shall be happy, prosperous, and well. We must learn to come under that divine government and accept the fact that nature's table is ever filled. Never was there a cosmic famine. The finite alone has wrought and suffered. The infinite lies stretched in smiling repose. That's quoting Emerson. God is always God, no matter what our emotional storm or what our objective situation may be. There is always a something hidden in the inner being that has never been violated. We may stumble, but always there is that eternal voice forever whispering within our ear, that thing which causes the eternal quest, that thing which forever sings and sings. This is the thing itself. That is the infinite possibility. That is divine intelligence. That is the absolute. But I don't want to use that word today because that's going to be the focus of our time together next week. It knows way more than we know. It is, after all, infinite intelligence. And it is always working for our good. Always. I truly believe that even when I can't see it at work. This is confirmed in the Note from the Universe by Mike Dooley. Anybody read the Notes from the Universe?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. What if every unexpected delay, postponement, or redirect only meant that at the very last second, right before the scheduled manifestation, I had an even better idea? It happens. The universe. And this terrific thought from the book Atom's Smashing Power of Mind by Charles Fillmore. He writes, do not be surprised and disappointed if everything does not work out according to your ideas. The all-seeing mind should not be judged by the dim and short vision of the mortal. What may at first seem to you as failure may prove to be a clearing way of rubbish that will open the way in mind to a larger life. Just a personal example, I remember way back, 32 years ago, maybe, I was expecting my first child, and my plans, I had it all planned out. My goodness, I was just going to have that baby, stay home for the required or the allowed 6 weeks, and then I was going to go back to work. So, wow, was I ever shocked and dismayed when my position was deleted from the budget, and I no longer had a job. I was 8 months pregnant. It's like, whoa, what was I going to do, right? Probably would have been a lawsuit today, but not then. And it turned out to be truly a blessing then, although I didn't see it that way at the time. The universe had way more in store for us than my mind could imagine at that time in our life. I was able to stay home with my daughter for 8 months. It was amazing. My husband then got a new and wonderful job in a completely different city. I had no idea that this job was even in the works at that point. And we moved into a brand new house, which I've shared before how I manifested that house, down to the exact detail of where the fireplace was. And we found a fabulous religious science church in Redlands, which set me on my path to the ministry. I had already begun in Whittier, but boy, I needed a new and invigorating teacher, and that was Dr. Ruth Wilkinson. She is amazing. So, this was such a much bigger idea for my life than I had at the beginning of that adventure. If that isn't the universe conspiring for my good, for our good, then I really don't know what is. Does anybody else have something like that that's happened in their life where they thought they knew what was going to be best that you might want to share, and then it turned out to be something different?
Yeah, I'll share something. When we got there, I had a great job where I was working, but there was a town several towns away that offered me a job that paid a lot more money. And there were some benefits to that because you could stay home with the kids. But I went there, and the first day I was there on the job, I'm meeting these people, I'm going, and I'd heard it was a very dysfunctional organization or culture, and boy, was it. And some events occurred, and it was like, I really was wanting to leave there. And Chris and I had always talked about moving up north, because this was in Southern California, the traffic and just a variety of things. And so I looked, and there was a job opening in Folsom. So came up to Folsom, and we went around, the town, and I got an interview for the job. And, I talked to people, and, I prepared myself, because it just seemed like the right place, beautiful American River, old Sutter Street, which had been there since the gold rush era. And so when I interviewed for the job, when I walked into the room, because I'd done all this sort of research, I was surprised, but there was the person who'd been selected the Man of the Year. So I said, "Hi, my name's Rich Homer, and congratulations on being selected the Man of the Year." And by that point, I knew I had that job. Just
because it was everything
It
fell
was just
fell
my
into
job.
place. Yeah.
And it turned out it was a fun job, and but I wanted to move up, and so that brought me here.
Yeah.
We had an old preacher that used to drive truck for us, and he'd come in and he'd have all these stories, good turn to bad, and he'd always end it with, "See, so you never know. Sometimes the worst thing that ever happened to you turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to you." And he always had these worst thing that happened to you turned out to be the best thing that happened to you stories that were just.
And it's true, because sometimes we can't see
I always think
the great idea that the divine has in store for us, and our little mortal minds kept thinking we had this all figured out, and boy, there was something better. There was something better, and that divine
you have
urge.
to be open to it, though. I do know that.
Yes. So
Can't sit on your couch and whine.
this is
You gotta
true.
Get out.
That's true. So in The Science of Mind, on page 39, Holmes writes, "We must instill into our minds the fundamental proposition that good is without bounds. Only good and loving kindness shall follow me all of the days of my life. That's Psalms 23. So let's instill that in our minds together this morning as we say these statements. So I'm going to say, and then you can repeat. The universe is conspiring for my good always and in all ways. The universe is conspiring for my good always and in all ways. God's good is without bounds. God's good is without bounds. Only good and loving kindness precede and follow me all the days of my life. Only good and loving kindness precede and follow me all the days of my life. Congratulations, everyone. You have become Pronoia. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Yay.